Let's give you an update on where we are with this grow your own area, because it still looks a little bit like a building site at the moment, but as the months go it'll start to transform, and I'll give you loads of hints and tips on how to grow the peas and onions and garlic and herbs and a whole host of other things to really get going. But whilst it is still a little bit of a building site, every day a new path goes down. At the moment we're finished, there's only that little section there, and around the back, wallop, we start putting in a lot of the beds. But I'm getting impatient. The greenhouse, they've painted me shelves inside as well. I was saying, can at least the shelves inside still feel a bit rusty? I mean, that's a beautiful scene, the greenhouse, but I've got to confess it has been recommended to me that it's got to look a little bit nicer from the kitchen window, so I have allowed a little bit of paint, but can't resist it. I'm out buying stuff already. Now, I'd like to have some apples down here. I'm planning to do an orchard over the far side, to restore an orchard that's been there for years, and that'll be my next project when we've got this done. But at this time of year, if you've ever fancied planting a tree, now's the time. And of course, with the Platinum Jubilee coming up, and the Queen wanted to do the green canopy and encourage all of us to plant a tree, you can't go far wrong than an apple. You know, there's lots of lovely ornamental trees with beautiful leaves and flowers, but you know, an apple's got the lot. It's got foliage when the new buds just spring out from the sides of the branches, lovely lime green, that you then get this lovely green canopy for the rest of the year as the foliage goes round, and of course those leaves then turn to autumn colour before they fall. And of course you've also got masses of blossom, apple blossom on apples, are absolutely gorgeous, plus the fruit as well, let's not forget that. What's not to like? Now at this time of year you can either go to garden centres and buy apples that have been grown in containers. They cost a little bit more. I went and bought a pear the other day. That's about 40, 50 pounds for a pear in a container. It was a gift to a very good friend of mine. But this apple here is a little different. It's called bare root, which means instead of paying for all the time in a pot and a container growing on a nursery bed, instead it's actually grown in the ground. So it's a lot cheaper to produce because it's naturally growing. Sorry about that. That's James, who's operating the camera, has just tripped over one of my raised beds. But he is wearing steel toe cap boots, and they are the cleanest steel toe cap boots I've ever seen. Look at those babies. Anyway, so these are bare root. So you can buy them cheaper because they're dug up, and you just plant them into the ground. I'm giving this one a little bit of protection from the frost by covering it over in bags, but I'm going to try and get this into the ground this weekend. If not, I'll pot it up myself and put it with my other apples, waiting to put it in the ground for the orchard. But if you're going to buy a fruit tree, you really want to be sure that either there's more apples in the area, a neighbour's got them or the like, because they do need to pollinate with each other to produce fruit. Not all of them. You can get some varieties like Laxton Superb, which is self-fertile, meaning it pollinates itself. But check with the garden centre if you can buy an apple tree, and have a quick look over the neighbours' gardens to see, because you know they do need to, many of them, sexually reproduce. I'm not talking about the apple actually looking over the fence, seeing the neighbour's apple and go, come over here, let's have a bit. I'm just talking, well, that's what happens. Sometimes the bees help a great deal in that respect. But buying an apple and putting it into the garden, if you're thinking about anything this weekend and you want to treat your garden, head to the garden centre and take a look. There's loads to choose from. Well, we're nearly here. I've got to move a couple of trees at the back, a couple of ornamental trees that I like. But I don't think we're that far. We've got 1, 2, 3. Oh, that then the line of the pathway at the bottom, and we're done. Do you know what I'm thinking already? I'm thinking we should put a few more beds that way. So tempting. I've already got them in mind, what I'm putting where. Oh, let's get this into a pot or in the ground, one or the other, before we get a bit of a frost tonight.